else, I wish you very. Just a moment, I just got a block over here, so let me just get, okay, it's taken care of, so. All right, as I was saying, everybody else have a healthy and happy Christmas. Okay.
You too.
There'll be other stuff that if you of a general topic, I'll be bringing that up in my president's notes in the January bulletin, which George Jason is working on. So be over there. I'll have my evaluation of this program stuck in somewhere in that bulletin. I'm going to be composing it for it tomorrow, and I'll send it right up to him.
Okay, good.
There is once more. There's something about special trips. It says something to do with the or a salute to the R-32s or something or other. I'm going to turn when Paul gets on. He can discuss that. So at this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to Pablo Kalka. He can turn it over from here.
Thank you, General Foz. Well, as Sheldon mentioned, like manna from heaven, I know every year we look forward to the holiday season nostalgia train that starts running the Sunday of the Thanksgiving Day weekend. And we were all really disappointed that it wasn't going to happen this year. Well, just like manna from heaven fell from the skies, the Transit Authority has come to our rescue. For the next 3 Sundays, they're going to have the retirement run on the R-32 equipment. Now, the first 2 Sundays this is going to operate on the 19th and the 26th. Oh, and the second, this is going to be the next 4 Sundays. So the next 3 Sundays going to operate on the F line between 2nd Avenue and 145th Street on the D line. And that'll operate all day, starting at 10 a.m. right through 5 p.m. So that's the next 3 Sundays between 2nd Avenue and 145th Street. Now, the last Sunday, this is really going to be the pie a la mode for the whole thing. It's going to run the entire length of the Q train on the Brighton line from Brighton Beach to 96th Street, which is, of course, on the 2nd Avenue line. So that will be Sunday, January 9th. So if you want something really special, be on board for that, and that will run from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. So we have to be very thankful for the Transit Authority to coming through there.
They run, I think, in the Brighton lines at every 2.5 hours, I think. The schedule.
I would go to the Transit Authority website and all the details are there.
Right, the R30, it's listed, there's a link for R32 retirement runs.
That's right.
Right.
Now I would like to discuss upcoming programs.
Hold up.
What?
Just recall.
I'm sorry. I'm Jerry's niece. Yes,
Sorry.
I'm Jerry's niece. And I'm having trouble because he's on my computer and then you're on my phone, trying to get you off my phone to close the Zoom app so he can still meet with you on my computer. I'm having trouble.
Oh,
so I'm trying to cancel Zoom. Yeah, because you guys are showing up on my phone as well.
You have to leave. If you're going to go, if you want to leave leave one device and link on another device, then you would need to just leave from the device you're on now and then click on the link for the session on the other device.
Yeah, but I could.
Shit.
Oh, yeah, but they're still in my ear on this. Okay. Oh.
All right. I just want to mention the next 2 upcoming programs.
Whoa. Before, on the R-32 trip, they're giving it 1 hour per leg for each trip. Okay,
Oh, okay.
big thing to remember, the last trip that's scheduled, departure is 96th Street at 6:30 PM. Okay,
Okay,
that means the train will actually come out of traffic when it gets to Brighton Beach. So that's not gonna be till close to 7:30. Then they're gonna have a little bit of a, they're gonna have some kind of a ceremony after that at Brighton Beach.
Oh, the last trip.
oh,
And that's when they're gonna go into the yard, so.
So
if you
that'll
wanna-
be
if
at
you wanna
night.
see it- If you wanna see it to the last drop, as the saying goes, you have to be ready to spend the day from 10 o'clock in the morning at Brighton Beach. Actually, probably quarter of when they bring it in from the yard, okay? And then till the time it goes out of service and goes back to the yard, and that will be it. And, you know, when it's it, it's it. That's it. I don't
That's
know
it.
if they're, I don't know yet, but I suspect they're probably gonna keep one train for the museum use
Yes.
after that.
I would
But
hope
I don't
so.
know about any more than that.
okay.
Plus, don't forget when they ran the last train for the R42 when Andy Byford was still there. That was almost 2 years ago.
Yes.
So they took one 8-car train and they kind of gussied up to look as it did, at least some of it anyway, was supposed to look as it did in the 1960s. Remember they put
Oh,
that
with
big,
the advertising and
they had the big
everything.
A, no, they
Oh.
put a big paper A sign in the end window. Remember that?
Oh,
Size
great.
A like the R4. So they're probably gonna have some kind of a Hollywood gussy up of this
Right.
train. My guess, most likely, it will be the old Transit Authority logos with the TA,
Mm.
something like that, okay?
So
Um,
that's an extra added bonus on the last day.
Well, yeah, they're probably gonna have one train they're gonna kind of gussy up, and I suspect they'll have a second one that'll be a backup in case
Okay.
this thing doesn't go completely well.
Okay.
All right.
With the
Insurance.
Let's keep-
With the R32s, the way it works is the more you run them and the farther you run them, the more of a chance something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, right.
Always happens that way.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
plan for that.
So anyway,
Well, let
just
me
let you
just
know, that's
mention the
some of the
next two
details, okay?
programs.
Yeah, okay.
Very important. I know we had the wrong date in the bulletin. Our January program reverts back to the 4th Friday as usual. So that translates into January 28th. And that will be the Hudson's along the Hudson in all its glorious steam. And then we will be on board for a cab ride on the Lakeshore Limited from Croton Harmon to Grand Central Terminal. So that will be our entertainment for next month. And going further out to the 4th Friday of February, none other than Cora Soa will take us along to the Golden Triangle city of Pittsburgh, city of bridges and 3 rivers in all its glory. And we'll see the very best of Pittsburgh rail and transit. So please be on board for that.
Yeah,
And
I had,
late-breaking news.
Okay,
I
Go
had
right
hoped
ahead.
to get some fresh Pittsburgh pictures over Christmas, but Omicron kind of upset
Yeah.
our plans.
Oh,
So it's,
wait.
Well,
I will
Not a
have, for
problem.
those
Okay.
people that have seen some of that material before at the NRHS, I do have new material, but it's new ancient material.
It's new old material.
It's new old material from way back when, back in the day.
Well, that's what we like.
Now,
Don't worry.
what did Cora mention you wanted new material? Would that be the light rail, the Pat light rail, or what would you want to do?
Well, what I was going to do was what I wanted to do was take another trip down to that walkway along the Monongahela River. That, you know,
Oh, by Station Square.
yeah,
Okay.
starting from Station
Yes.
Square, but it goes out east. I guess it's out east. It's where there
Right.
used to be many multiple tracks, and there's now 2 tracks, active tracks. It shows that you can have a rails to trails, bicycle and hiking trail coexisting with the mainline tracks. And I do have a
Excellent.
few pictures. I was hoping to
Okay.
get more though. And you're right up next to the tracks. There's no fence or anything. Yeah, it's really cool. And there's a
Well-
lot of traffic.
all right. Oh, okay, let's, Okay.
I'm sure it'll be an excellent program.
Yeah.
Well, let me just announce one more thing for late breaking news. I just scheduled our March program, thanks to a very generous donation by our member Kenneth Bronstein. And that will be on the Mount Washington Cog Railway, climbing to the clouds. So we will climb up to the peak of Mount Washington behind the Cog Railroad. I believe the fourth Friday of March, I believe it's the 25th. Thanks to the generosity of our member, Mr. Bronstein.
Nice.
Very
Hi,
good.
this
Thank you.
is Ken. By the way, I just read in the paper today that Pikes Peak just opened up their Cog Railroad.
Oh, they did.
Oh, nice.
So I think it's one of the longest ones around. So that's
Yes.
it's an interesting.
Oh, that one for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pikes Peak. That's like over a mile high.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ken. That'll be excellent.
Okay.
Oh, okay, let's just begin the presentation. I'm going to just mute everybody, and then hopefully anyone who joins, just if they hope they just don't join, just unmuted and make noise, and then I would have to just.
Well, you just concentrate on doing your
I'll concentrate the
program.
program. Okay,
Yeah.
let me okay.
Away we go.
Type. I'm looking. Let me just see this. I'm clicking on participants.
Screen share.
I'm looking for just where to mute everyone. I'm not even. Why am I not seeing this? I could just.
Well, people could mute themselves.
Okay, then let everyone just mute them. Please mute themselves.
How to
Please.
do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't even know how to do that. How do you mute yourself?
Okay, just all right, just I'll begin. Okay, everyone should be able to see this. It's just the west side. This is taken of the west side yards from the vessel at Hudson Yards. That was at Oculus that has since been closed because there wasn't any, let's say, fencing or enough security preventative against anyone just committing suicide by jumping. And the last time it happened, they closed it down. I think we were here just in just January of this year. I think shortly after the new entrance just at Penn Station opened. So I just walked over and came here. And this is just I was from New York City Waterway Ferry. We took it just from, I think it was in near 34th Street. It went towards, I think, Staten Island. And it was this of the Erie-Lackawanna terminal. And this is another angle of the Erie-Lackawanna terminal. You can see that the New York City Waterway Ferry just docked near the terminal on the left. And this is a map of the Hudson-Bergen light rail system. You can see just the two branches at the south end. And then at the north end, you can see just where it's just the new, I think the line that goes through Tunnelly Avenue from Hoboken. And this is the Tunnelly Avenue station, one of two stations that opened up when an extension was built to Bergen Line Avenue into the terminus at Tunnelly Avenue. And this is the terminus. And it did open on February 25th of 2006. And I have a few more shots of that terminus. This is from another angle. And this is from the overpass of that terminal. And you can see just the grand opening banner down below on the platform. And this is one, looks like it's coming into the terminus. And this is a close-up shot of it. This is a different angle. And another angle. Yeah. Oh, and another one. And this is at the Port Imperial Station. This was the original northern terminus when the system opened up on April of 2000. Look, can you see that this fellow facing the camera on the bottom? He looks pretty happy to be there. This is another shot at the Port Imperial Station. And another one. And this is the just north of the Port Imperial Station, where the tracks lead into a tunnel. It took just several shots of trains just up going into the tunnel and coming out. Here's one that's just coming out.
Stephen, when were these taken?
This one was taken in 2006. See, that was the February, I think, 25th of 2006, the day, I think, when it opened up, the grand opening.
Okay.
And here in this shot, it's close up and I generated some movement. These shots I took with my first digital camera. So that means I had just hadn't even had my first camera for 2 years when I took this. The results aren't too bad. I mean, I'm getting higher resolution with my present one, obviously. Another shot. This looks like it's going in. And this is the Port Imperial Station, as you can see. This is a close-up of a train at the Port Imperial Station. This is from across the platform at that station. And this is the other station that opened up on February 25th of 2006. This is Bergen Line Avenue Station in Union City. And this is at that station just right outside. You see the grand opening banner. And a few more shots at Bergen Line Avenue. And here you can see more of the platform and the station. And this is the view from Jersey City Heights above the 9th Street Congress Street station. So it's a nice view there. You can see the skyline across the river. And this is a shot on the platform of that 9th Street Congress Street station. And this is a northbound train approaching the 9th Street Congress Street station. And this is the same station. And this is in 2011. This is the date where we were walking to the starting point of the NYRRE tour of the Hudson-Bergen light rail. And that's the Holland Tunnel air ventilation shaft taken from the Hoboken station. You see all the wooden pylons. This is a vertical shot of the air shaft and the pylons. And this is shortly on the light rail after leaving Hoboken. You see all the switch, all the signals and the switches. And this is at one of the terminus of the 8th Street Bayonne branch. And this is another shot at that station, a different angle. And I forget which, I'm not sure which station this is. That was a fellow on the trip. And this is on the day of that trip, we did also do this was the Newark light rail system, and that's Newark Penn Station. You can see the trip attendees. Let me see if I recognize anybody. I see Jerry Pose is on the left. And I think I see Bill Angoli down the platform. This is another shot at that station. And this is an interior shot. A close-up shot. And this is the first of 8 photos that I took at the Newark Broad Street station. There you see some work equipment, and this is looking eastbound from the Newark Broad Street station. And this is on the looks like the Morris exit line. Wish that what I'm seeing is like a drop down. All these mute, stop video. It's at the top. I'm not sure how I get rid of that. Oh, maybe it says doctor. Let me click on this. Oh, it went to the bottom. Okay, now it's better. It went before, it was at the top of the screen. And this is New Jersey Transit Rail. And this is a close-up of that work equipment. And this is right near the Newark Broad Street station. This is the clock on that tower. Just a close-up of the clock. Another shot of the clock tower. And this is another shot at from that station. A close-up of it. And this is the following number of shots that I took. You'll be seeing were taken shop tour at the Grove Street station of the Newark light rail system. Now you see the group, a lot of some familiar faces. See just Art Ferguson, Bill Angolia. This is up on the lift being worked on. As one's out of service. And these are some outdoor shots at the yard. This is fairly pretty rusted. That was a PCC car. Another shot of the different angle of the PCC car. Now you see just two of them. Looks like we were still given a tour. You can see the participants in the distance. This is an interior shot. Okay, it's like this is it for this segment of the show. What I'll need to do is just temporarily just stop share. And that's when I can go on to the next part of the show. Okay, let me just see if anyone needs to be muted here.
Steve, were those pictures before or after Sandy?
Oh, let me see. In 2011, they were before Sandy, right? Because Hurricane Sandy was in 2012. This was in 2011. Okay, let me just go to the next phase. All right, now this phase is of the Long Island Railroad. This was on January 18th of 1999, and this is at the Hewlett Station of the Far Rockaway branch. It looked like it was bound for just Far Rockaway, and this is an M1 type car. This one is an M3 type car that I took just that same day. Another shot of an M3 from the same station, Hewlett. And this was taken January 30th of 1999 at the Locust Valley station, and it's an EMD power car. Now, the shots that you're looking at now, I originally took with Kodachrome, Ektachrome, or Ektacolor, and I just had high resolution scans made of them. You know, I'm pretty happy with the job that they did. I like the detail. And this is on an LIST NRHS farewell to the diesel strip on April 17th of 1999. And this was just a P-54 built by the American Car Foundry Company in 1912. And this was just an Alco type power car produced between 1949 and 1959. This looks like Long Island City. And this one was built by on the same trip, built by EMD in January and February 1976. And this is a close-up shot of it. And this shows just a more distant shot showing more cars in that consist. An additional photo of that train. You see just they mixed in just like some freight, looks like some passenger cars. This is taken with a different point with another, I'm not sure just what train that is on the left. Okay, this car 271, this is another EMD. This is produced February of 1976. I was able to tell just from the car numbers on various websites, just the info that I'm sharing. And I liked the background on this shot. You see just the bare foliage and the trip participants. And this is taken this was taken at Oyster Bay, which is a terminus of the Oyster Bay line. And it's an EMD that was produced in March of 1977. And this is over at Riverhead Station. Oh, now we're heading over to the Metro North segment. The photos that you see here, they were taken, there was a farewell to the ACMUs, and these were Pullman standards built between 1962 and 1965. And this was an ACMU, all 4 shots on that trip, an interior shot. You can see just some familiar faces there on the right. And I'm not sure which station this was taken from. Oh, this was Mount Vernon East. Yeah, right, Mount Vernon East Station on an overpass. I think it's the same station. Here you see just the farewell, just a train with a regular revenue train. I'm not sure which station this is. This is Bronxville Station. And it's the same station. And this is taken of the Harlem River. Another interior shot. Let me see if, oh, this is Greystone Station. That's a really nice shot of the river there. This was, we were still going northbound. Not sure which station, if this is still that station. This is Ardsley. This is from a slightly different angle. This is Croton Harmon. A different angle at Croton Harmon. It looks like an Amtrak train. And this is taken from the High Line on September 26th of 2014. I'm not sure when it opened up. I'm not sure. I don't think it was opened up too long when I took this shot. This is the Long Island Railroad West Side Yard. Another shot on that same day. And the next several photos were taken just from Moynihan train hall shortly after it opened. And that Art Deco just clock was restored, like it was based upon another, I'm not sure where that clock was before. And you can see just how brightly, just the nice, the skylight, just that makes it so nicely lit. I always forget which platforms go directly down to the Long Island Railroad platform and which ones you need to just first walk down to the West Concourse, and then the West Concourse, an additional flight of stairs to get to the Long Island Railroad platform. And this is the new 7th Avenue and West 31st Street entrance. And these are the very just brightly lit, just direction, the list of the trains, the departures. Oh, and I have more information on this about this clock. This Art Deco style was by Peter Penoyer Architects, and the contract was awarded by the Empire State Development Corporation. They won a contest against 4 other firms. And this is the 31st Street and 9th Avenue entrance. And what you're seeing at the top, that was the Hive. And it was designed by Stan Douglas, Elm Green, and Dragset Kahindi Wiley Company. And this is near my neck of the woods. On shortly after Hurricane Sandy, there was some switches that were flooded out in Long Beach, so that for a few weeks until they repaired it, there was only a diesel shuttle that ran between Lynbrook and Long Beach. And then what commuters had to do was at Lynbrook, they had to change to a waiting train across the platform. And I believe that train went directly to Atlantic Terminal. If you wanted to go to Penn Station, you had to change at Jamaica. Then this westbound shuttle, it was taken on the eastbound platform at Center Avenue Station. Because the switches were burned out, not only was it just a diesel shuttle, but there was only one track because the switches were inoperable. And this is a different angle here. I wanted to make it look better. I decided to crop it so that you wouldn't see the sun. Okay, it looks like, I think this is the end of this segment. So let me simply stop sharing temporarily. All right, now what I'm going to do is I would like to share but this is between a video clip between 2 and 3 minutes. This was taken on there was a Brighton Line vintage train run on June 18th of 2017. Now, let me just begin it. Let me just start it. just
Our
won the
last was
wheel.
on the West Main Street. We go to my grandparents' place years and years ago. That's when they were over on West 5th Street.
It's the Nathan on the right.
Yeah.
At the reference, the parachute jump.
What station was parents?
They were my parents were 77
What was their local station?
All right, let me simply close this and stop share. Okay, let me just, I'm just looking at some chat, just shot Vernon West. All right, now I'll next be sharing just the next segment will be of the New York City subway. And let me just move over the inset of all the participants. All right, and this is the first shot that I take of the March of Dimes sponsored fan trip of July 24th of 2004. Now this looks like the Columbus Circle station. Now I'm not sure if ERA co-sponsored this trip or not. And oh, you can see some, I see Paul Kalka and Steve Buffoni on the right. And this was a model R10 car made in 1948 by the American Car and Foundry Company for the BMT and IND division. Now, these shots were taken with my original digital camera. I think when I took this, I think I had it just about a month. I was still trying it out. It was a novelty at the time. And this is a close-up of one of the signs, and you can see the original advertisement, wage war on germs, the subway sun, cover your coughs and sneezes, please. And the last one of the R10s was retired in 1989. And this trip was originally planned for the Eastern Division, the BMT, but they actually operated to Southern Division due to too many general orders on the Eastern Division. And the lead car 484 was built by the American Car and Foundry Company under contract R4 in 1932 or 33 for the IND BMT division. And this is at the Church Avenue Brighton Line station. And this is part of and this contract was 500 cars. There were numbers 400 to 899. This was southbound. And this is a regular revenue Q train, also at Church Avenue. And this is very photogenic. This is the Neck Road station. We were still heading southbound. And this is a regular revenue train. And this northbound regular revenue Q train is on the express track. And the reason for that is on this day there was some construction. You can see the construction work is in the distance. So all northbound service on this Sunday was on the express track. Was normally on the Brighton line, Saturday and Sunday, it's all trains run local. There's just a Q train. It's on weekdays, it's the B train that just runs express. And this is another shot of this is a lead car 484, and which I previously identified. And this is looking north. You can see that there are different, on this consist, there are just different model cars. They look like an R10 in the middle. And this is one of 300 R1 contract cars built by American Car and Foundry Company in 1930 and 1931. And this contract was cars 100 to 399. And this is looking southbound from the Coney Island bound platform. And also at Neck Road, these consist of 3 wooden cars. These were called BUs. And one was built in 2003. 2 of them were built in 1907. They often run these on these vintage runs. And this is at Ocean Parkway Station on the Bright Line, on the Coney Island bound platform. And we've another shot of a car 484. And at Ocean Park, and this is that 3 car BU consist. And these this is an interior shot of the BU cars. You can see the like the pressure gauge or the temperature gauge, whatever that is. And this is an interior of the one of the BU cars. You can see Paul Kalka on the left, and facing him is seeing his back is Steve Buffoni. And this is the sign on one of the BU cars. And this is approaching just Stillwell Avenue. And this was taken from the boardwalk. You can see just on the top is the Brighton line, that's the Q train. And below that, lower level, is an F train, which runs up McDonald Avenue. And in fact, it joins, it's a part, currently it's considered the Culver line. And I figured that this would be nice. This is not opinion. It would be nice to just include this. It's very iconic. Shoot the freak. Look like some happy campers there. And next several shots were taken at the Stillwell Avenue terminus, and this was shortly after the renovation was finished on it. This is on the West End platform, which is where the D train ran at the time and currently does run. And this is Stillwell Avenue Station facing south. And this is the view from, this was taken from the BU wooden car. It was consist was taken of Coney Island Yard. This was running on the Sea Beach line. And this is an interior of the BU wooden car. I see it on the right, close is Michael Miller, the fellow with the glasses. He's a prominent rail fan. And this is construction near the Sea Beach line between Stillwell Avenue and 86th Street. Oh, and this is something different. This was in 2017 on my own personal, this was on just an independent trip, just on an outing. I went home with the Rockaway line from Beach 116th Street in Rockaway Park. So I just took the shuttle to Broad Channel and then changed to the Far Rockaway branch, from which I then took a bus home. And this is looking north from the Broad Channel. This is taken from the overpass, and you can see just the shuttle. A shuttle train is waiting just to cross over and then return to Rockaway Park, Beach 116th Street. And on Broad Channel station facing south, this is a Manhattan-bound A train approaching the station. You can see in the background the viaduct. Yes. Yes.
Oh, well. You're on the floor tonight.
Okay, this is approaching just the state here further in, approaching the station. And this is facing north, and this is the Manhattan bound train. Okay, please mute whoever's just making noise. And here, oh, you see a number of trains. This is a Far Rockaway bound A train on the platform. And in the distance, you see two shuttles. It looks like the one close to the station is waiting just to go into the center track to turn around for the one in the middle track to just proceed. Now, what they do have is in rush hour, I think there are 5 special trains that run they run from Beach 116th Street, and they run through to Manhattan, and they're A trains. All right, this is a close-up of the southbound A train. And this is on a fan trip run by the New York City Transit Museum on August 20th of 2006. This is at West 57th Street Station, Broadway line, and this is on, I think, the southbound platform facing north. And this is another R10 model built by the American Car and Foundry Company. Another shot of it. This is a shot of the famous Wonder Wheel, Ferris wheel. The cars you see in the middle swing back and forth. It varies, as you can see just from the layout of the wheel. And the ones on the outer ring just don't move. They just, I mean, they just revolve. They just go up and around without just swinging back and forth. And this is back at Stillwell Avenue, and the lead car 484 we've seen before. They often run a lot of the same cars. Now, this is the West End. This is Stillwell, and this is a Manhattan-bound Q train which runs on the Brighton line, and this is bound for Stillwell Avenue. That's a D train which runs on the West End line. Here you can see more switches, and this stainless steel model R32A was made by the Budd Company in 1964 and rebuilt in 1988. And this is a different angle of, well, in this shot, I got a closer angle shot of the D train, which was approaching, and going out was an N train. The N trains currently run on the Sea Beach line. And at Stillwell Avenue, you see just 2 train sides. The train on the right is a D train on the West End, and on the left, it's an F train. This is a close-up of the F train. And here you're seeing a number of switches. That's an N train on the right. And this is a newer model N train. And this is an interior shot. You see the fans are rotating. Oh, and this next few photos, this was an Uptown train. HBO sponsored a subway fan trip. I think it ran between 96th Street, West 96th Street, and Times Square, just because of they wanted to plug their new show, Boardwalk Empire. you can see just the poster for Boardwalk Empire. And this was taken from the Uptown West 96th Street platform. You can see that it very clearly tells you when the show was broadcast at the time, at 9 p.m. That must have been, and this was taken from the downtown West 96th Street platform. And these were the standard low V cars. This is 5292. It was built by the Pullman Car Company in 1917. See, I'm getting it some movement in that shot. And this is also taken interior of the downtown train. And 100 of these cars came from Pullman in 1916 and 1917, while the remaining 500 were purchased from the American Car and Foundry Company in 1924. And there you see the sign that they posted. And an additional 510 non-powered trailer cars entered service between 1916 and 1922. And this is a different, this taken from New York City Transit Museum tour of the Nassau Street and Jamaica lines, November 19th of 2009. And this is on the Jamaica line facing west. This is of the Crescent Street station. You could see just the stained glass. This is another shot, the close-up of the stained glass. And the shot of an incoming J train, which is regular revenue. And this was taken from Broadway Junction, and that's an L train. Looks like it's approaching the Broadway Junction station. On the Canarsie line, once you go west of Broadway Junction, the L train goes below ground, and it's above ground from Broadway Junction until, I forgot what station it is. It might be New Lots Avenue, and then after that, at East 105th Street, it's at grade level, and at Rockaway Parkway grade level. This is a close-up of an L train, Canarsie bound at Broadway Junction. You see just some tour leaders and participants on the platform. And this is an L train, just to add a full-length L train, as you can see just from Broadway Junction. I think that, this is Canarsie bound after it left the station. And this is an 8th Avenue Manhattan bound L train, just from Broadway Junction. Whoops, let me get rid of this. And this is a close-up of an L train just approaching Broadway Junction. Oh, and this is at Myrtle Avenue and Broadway. And this is a J train. It looked like you can see the beyond the switches, where the track curves, that's the Myrtle Avenue line, the trains that go from the Broadway Brooklyn L to Myrtle Avenue. And this looks like a Jamaica bound regular revenue J train. And this is an M. At this time, the M train on weekends was just a shuttle. It ran between Metropolitan Avenue on the Myrtle Avenue line and Broadway Myrtle. And so this was terminating at Myrtle Avenue. You can see the Myrtle Avenue well just above. And this is a Metropolitan Avenue bound M shuttle train, Myrtle Avenue shuttle. You can see it's starting to turn. And here you're seeing just more of a distant view taken from that station heading east with the switches. And you see it was raining. We had just This is a fellow with his umbrella up. You get a more clearer view of the station platform above. Oh, and here you could see just a train is about to approach it's Myrtle Avenue station, Myrtle Avenue and Broadway station, and the train in the distance waiting is a Manhattan-bound J train. And this J train is approaching the Myrtle Avenue station, Manhattan-bound. This is a Jamaica-bound J train at the Myrtle Avenue station. This is a vertical shot. This is taken from the Marcy Avenue station, and this is a Jamaica-bound J train. This is facing east from the platform. And here at the Essex Street station, we were getting a tour. You can see the tour leader. And this is at the control tower at the Essex Street station. It's Delancey and Essex. I see it looked like I think the fellow sitting down in the red shirt, is that just, anybody recognize who that is? There are a few more shots of the control tower. And this is just at Essex Street.
Oh, no. I
Oh,
got it.
No, that's a different, looks like a different, it says exit 4, 5, and 6. I'm not sure where this is. And this is on, the following stations were taken on a New York City Transit Museum subway fan trip. This one went to Rockaway Park, and it ran August 21st of 2005. And this is the first photo, and this was a model R10 made in 1948 by the American Car and Foundry Company, the BMT IND division. I've gotten an interior shot of these type cars previously. And this is an early BMT IND car. I'm not sure where this, what station this trip originated from. But I know it did make a stop at the New York City Transit Museum. And this is a sign on that, in that car. Okay, and this was taken when we stopped at the New York City Transit Museum. This is a model R15 built by 1950 by the American Car and Foundry Company. This was for the IRT system. You can see with those small round windows. And this was for the car. I forget the model of this car. I'm not sure.
R16.
It's an R16. Okay, thank you.
The previous one was an R11.
Oh, yeah. Let me go back further. Which one is this? An R? Is this an R11 or R15?
R11, yeah.
Oh, this is an 11. Okay.
That's the $1 million train.
Oh. Good. And this is an even older car. It looks like this was, I think this was for the IRT system, I'm not mistaken. This is an early BMT IND car, another shot. Still at the New York City Transit Museum. This is after the trip recontinued. Now, this is a familiar curve. It's after switching southbound onto the Rockaway line branch, following the Rockaway Boulevard station. That's a nice curve there. And this is taken at Jamaica Bay, the viaduct. And these are the bungalows that are up on stilts in Broad Channel. Interesting photo. And here we are, we are approaching the Beach 116th Street, Rockaway Park terminus, and you can see those trains are just are on storage, the storage track. And this is a close-up of those trains, A trains in storage. And this is a model R9 built by the Press Steel Company in 1940. And this is a regular revenue shuttle that's on the left with another the car 100 built under the R1 contract was built by AFC between 1930 and 1931. And that contract included car numbers 100 to 399. And this is just some work. I'm not sure, is that just, I'm not sure what that work equipment does. Looks like a giant vacuum cleaner, whatever that is. And this is a storage yard, a close-up shot. And this is a close-up shot of the another of the R1 car. You see the motorman. And here we were returning, and this was looking rearwards, and this curve was following the Hamels Y switch from the Rockaway Park branch towards Jamaica Bay. Because at this point, some trains can just, if they go, they can either just continue along the Far Rockaway branch, or they can just switch towards Jamaica Bay, towards Manhattan. In fact, I don't think the only time, it was decades ago, during the midnight, late night hours, there was round robin service. They had these trains that ran shuttles. They ran from, there was called the HH, and it ran from Euclid Avenue, and then I think it ran to Rockaway Park, and then from Rockaway Park, it next ran to Far Rockaway, and then from Far Rockaway, it then returned to Euclid Avenue and Pitkin Avenue. And this is looking northward, facing Broad Channel to the Rockaway Park shuttle. That's a southbound shuttle. And this is an additional shot of the those bungalows on stilts. Oh, and I like and this is when we were approaching its merge with the Fulton Street line. This is at the intersection of Liberty Avenue, Cross Bay, Woodhaven, and Rockaway Boulevards. I guess it's on what Woodhaven Boulevard was north of Liberty Avenue, and south of Liberty Avenue, its name changes to Cross Bay Boulevard. And you can see the switch tower that is on the right. And this is another shot. This is closer to the merge. And it looks like I'm finished with this segment of the program. Wait, let me just stop share, and then I could just go on to the next phase. All right, let me just see what it looks like. Well, I see someone chatted just that machine looked like it was a super sucker. Leave the meeting, come back. All right, now next go to just I think someone HH ran after Hurricane Sandy. No. Oh, the HH train that ran decades ago. All right, now let me go to the final segment. All right, now this is in high resolution because what I did is I simply took a slide and I ran it through a slide viewer and took a photo of it. But this is at Broad Street Station on the Nassau Street line. And I'm not sure if this station was the origin of this March of Dimes NYRRE fan trip, or if it was just a stop. See, it looked like it was a southbound train, and this was the subway fan trip was ran on May 27th of 2002, and I did just now. I originally well, the next several shots that you're going to see on this segment, I originally took. We originally just 35mm slides, either Ektachrome, Ektacolor, or Kodachrome. I don't even know. Just so at different times, I tried different films. And next, and this is of the Franklin Avenue terminus of the Franklin Avenue shuttle. This is the first of 5 photos, and this is on that same fan trip that I had mentioned, and these were BMT triplex cars that they ran just on it. And also at that, this is of a regular revenue shuttle train. And the Franklin Avenue shuttle runs between the Prospect Park station at the Brighton line, of the Brighton line, and the Franklin Avenue station is at Franklin Avenue and Fulton Street. I'm not sure if it's called, I think it's Fulton Ave. I'm not sure if it's Fulton Street or Fulton Avenue. I always just mix them up. And at this point, it connects with the C train. And in late night hours, when the A train runs local on Fulton Street, it connects with the A train. Because on the Fulton Street line, the Franklin Avenue is a local stop. And this is another shot of a regular revenue shuttle. And here it looks like it's approaching Franklin Avenue. Another shuttle. And this is the consist of those BMT triplex cars that we rode. And, you know, at first, this is at the Marcy Avenue station. You know, at first, I was unhappy with this photo because of all the heads that I got in the way. But then I think I've started to appreciate it just for what I did get. I just like getting the HSBC tower in it. You're seeing Peter Luger's, the famous steakhouse, and the Williamsburg Bridge. And here we're back at Broadway Junction. You see that there's stained glass windows. You see it's Broadway Junction. You see there's a sign on the left just for the C train. I think you could have transferred both from when you go down below, you could transfer to both the A and the C train, because on the Fulton Street line, it's an express station. And here's an interior shot on that just BMT Trimplex consist. And this is the shot was taken of the East New York Yard, and it was near the Broadway Junction station. See quite a number of levels of train stored. And this is at Rockaway Parkway Station. This is the terminus, the southern and eastern terminus of the Canarsie line. And this BMT, the triplex car, was built in 1927 by Press Steel Car Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this was the Atlantic Avenue station of the Canarsie line, the L train. And you can see in the distance and in the lower left, there's an approaching L train that's Manhattan bound. And this was coming around a curve. We were approaching the East New York Yard near Broadway Junction. And this is the first of 3 shots of the train yard near Broadway Junction. Trains in storage. And I hear that this is a nice shot of 3 levels of trains. I think the the train up above is actually just an operation. It looks like a Manhattan-bound train. And this is at 111th Street Station of the Jamaica line. And here we're going, this is on a different fan trip. This was in 2003 in June. This was on an IRT fan trip, and this is car number 5760 and a model R12. This was introduced by the American Car and Foundry Company in 1948, and it was made in Berwick, Pennsylvania. And this was taken at the West 181st Street station. And this is a model R12 lead car. And this is the platform down below. See, it's for the George Washington Bridge. And this is at the Van Cortlandt Park station. This is 242nd Street. This is the end of the line. And that was an R12 that was the lead car. The following number of photos were taken from the Dyckman Street station. It's like this is a downtown number 1 train. And this is an uptown regular revenue 1 train approaching the station. And this is looking northbound just from the 181st Street station. Even though it wasn't in focus, I thought it was worth including. And the one on the left is in better focus than the one on the right. And the one on the right is uptown, and the one on the left is headed downtown. And this is, earlier I had some photos taken of that fan trip on July 24th of 2004, but those were taken with my original digital camera. These original 35 millimeter, and I had them digitally converted. And so this is taken at the 9th Avenue station of the West End line, and this is looks like a set of BU cars that we've seen before running on other fan trips and vintage runs. And this was that same March of Dimes BMT fan trip. And the 3 BU wooden Alcanzas. This one is it's Manhattan, going in the Manhattan-bound direction, because it had what the West End line does at 9th Avenue station. It's below ground and it's uncovered. And when the West End line runs south of 9th Avenue, it becomes elevated. So I got the curve. And the lead car 484 was built by the American Car and Foundry Company at the contract A4 in 1932 or 1933. And this is an interior shot. And this looks like an R10, an interior shot. This was gotten just in at the Neck Road station of the Brighton line. This is another shot. At this point, I was phasing out taking a 35 millimeter. So on this trip, I did both, used both. I took both digital photos and 35 millimeter. I'd like to, you can see just the resolution of these is much better than the ones I showed earlier in this presentation. And these are the BU cars again, taken at Neck Road. You can see the construction crew in the distance. And this is back at the Ocean Parkway station of the Brighton line. Another shot at Ocean Parkway. An interior shot. These look like the wooden cars. And this is taken from the Fort Hamilton Parkway station of the West End line. And it's on the Coney Island, took this from the Coney Island bound platform, and the regular revenue D train that you see here was headed Manhattan bound. And these are the three BU wooden car consist facing north from Fort Hamilton Parkway station. This is a closer up shot of the wooden cars from that station. Oh, and this one, this is taken from the 62nd Street station, this facing north. And that's of the wooden consist. And you can see just in the distance, there's a regular revenue train at 55th Street. This looks like it was a telephoto shot. I like what I got in the background. Rubenstein and Klein Fine Furniture. You can see the merchants. This is on New Utrecht Avenue. It's where the West End line just runs. It's actually what the elevated portion of the West End line from 9th Avenue, it runs on New Utrecht Avenue. And then at about 18th Avenue, it turns down 86th Street. And then beyond, I think, 25th Avenue, it turns down Stillwell Avenue. And this is just a close-up, and I got some motion of the wooden cars from the 50th Street station. And this was facing south of a regular revenue D train from the 9th Avenue station. And this is up, you can see facing, that's a regular revenue D train approaching 9th Avenue. It's headed Manhattan bound. And this is, I know this is for the second time I'm showing that the West Side Yards from the vessel at Hudson Yards. Oh, okay, and I'm going to just stop screen sharing, and that was the entire show. Just I hope you've enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, that was a great program.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
There were a lot of really good excursions.
Oh yeah. I'm just looking at some of the chats. Okay. The big accident at Prospect Park when the BRT operated. Yes, that was the famous.
Oh, the Malbone
That was
Street.
the Malbone Street wreck.
Yeah.
You can still see the place where it was. You can see where it goes. The tracks would have gone into that tunnel where the train crashed into the side, but that part of the track is no longer used, but you can see where it happened.
Right, on the
Because there's a
Franklin
tunnel
Avenue
that takes
shuttle.
a funny kind of a curve.
Yeah, sure
Yes.
did. Was an inexperienced operator was at the control due to an industrial controversy that had.
I think there were 97 people killed.
Well, he
Wow.
was running a double shift, and he also was just getting over the influenza. So he wasn't in good
Yes.
shape to begin with. And they asked him to do a double shift because they were short of crew.
Very
Wasn't
timely.
there a strike? There was some kind of a
Yeah, I
work
think that was a complication too.
stoppage. And then after some of the survivors started to walk onto the track, what happened is that the accident somehow it just it turned off. I think it caused the short, whatever it did, it turned off the power. But for some reason they thought that those walking on the track, it was somebody had just somebody had turned off the power and they turned it back on. And
Oh,
some
no.
people were electrocuted.
Wow.
Toast.
Whatever could go wrong did go wrong.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kalka. Great show for Marty Radovich in Chicago.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad
Oh,
you-
very good.
Those wooden cars that you were showing, was it the B2 or what was it?
Oh, they called them BU.
But they didn't look as, I didn't see any steps going up to the doors. Did that mean they had high-level platforms already at that time?
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah, they must have.
Because I didn't see, maybe they were indented in some way. I didn't see the steps going into the
I
entrances.
think on the vintage just trains, I remember just they use them. And I think it tends, I don't remember having to just climb up, let's say, to get onto them. So I think they're able to just use the platforms that we now have. Oh, and that.
But I mean, when they were first built, did
Oh,
they
they were-
have, yeah, how did you get onto them? Did they have high-level platforms?
Maybe they did, I'm not
Maybe
sure.
they did.
And oh, and the vintage train, the video that I just did show, generally once a year on the Brighton line, that what they would often run, they'd have, often it was in June, and then I think the last year they ran, before the pandemic, they ran in September. The vintage trains ran on the express track on the Brighton line, usually between, one run ran on the express between Brighton Beach Station and Kings Highway. And the reason they did it that way is that it didn't interfere in regular revenue service. I think because between King Highway and Avenue U Station, there are switches. So they would run some trains, they would have several different trains, they would run up from Brighton Beach Station on the express track. And then at Kings Highway, it would then, the motorman would then leave the lead car, go to the first car facing in the other direction, then go forward, and then he'd be able to switch to the southbound express track. And then there were also some, I don't know if there were some trains that would just run on a one-stop operation back and forth between Brighton Beach Station and Ocean Parkway. Because even though just that there's no express line between Brighton Beach Station and Stillwell Avenue, Coney Island, there are some middle tracks used for storage. So they run on those. And this way they don't, it's good for regular revenue. I'm not sure just how much longer they're going to be able to run these fan trips because of like what's the name of that equipment?
Conversion to CBTC.
Right, the conversion to CBT. They wouldn't be able, the old trains wouldn't be able to just run on them. They wouldn't be compatible.
Cara,
Yes,
you're asking about the stepwells in New York City rapid transit history. They never had what you call a trap with the steps.
uh-huh.
In any way, in anywhere in their history, they never had it. They had different heights of high platforms through
That's
the,
what I wondered, yeah.
but they never had moving steps. Back in the early days of the BRT, before they built the modern rapid transit lines, a lot of them ran on the ground, like the steam roads that went to Coney Island back in the 1800s.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
They got electrified as early rapid transit trains. There was a low level platform, and you had to come up into the train, use what they call the side saddle, which is the little stirrup on the side of the platform.
Oh,
It was an interesting, yeah, they had a little step. They give you a portable step.
Oh,
you
there
know,
was.
oh, the portable step.
a pup
Yeah.
step, and then you had to
oh.
Yeah,
stirrup, and then you had to go up from the stirrup into the platform and then into the car. It got
Wow.
very interesting.
yeah.
It must have been,
Yes. After that,
particularly in inclement weather.
I don't know that Andrew Cuomo would have survived such a job in those days, okay? You know what I mean, okay?
yes.
Yeah,
After that accident, Malbone Street, those wooden cars never ran underground.
in the subway.
Safety
That's
feature, right? They were all just all ran on elevated.
It was too dangerous.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that was a very good program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Very
Very,
interesting.
very
All
good
right, I'm glad,
program, Steve.
Okay. All right. I'm
Have
glad.
a happy and healthy,
Yeah, have a
everybody.
happy and healthy.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
See you
Okay.
next month,
Right.
January
Oh,
28th. Next
right.
month,